Hello everyone, Moobies here, and welcome to the guide for our favorite proto-drake, Razorscale. The second optional boss in the courtyard of Ulduar. Let's get into it. Razorscale is a two-phase fight with a ground phase and an air phase. There are 3 adds that need to be taken care of, as well as 6 total abilities. The phases are very distinct and different, but fun. The boss abilities don't change between phases, but you'll cast different things depending on the situation. The first ability is Devouring Flame. This inflicts 9,000 fire damage to a player and leaves fire on the ground, dealing big damage every second to anyone remaining in it. She also casts Fireball, which targets a random raid member and deals around 10,000 fire damage to them. When she is on the ground, she will cast Flame Breath, which is your normal Dragon Breath mechanic. Don't stand in front of her. Wing Buffet. This is a 35-yard knockback. Basically, you're likely going to get hit by this. It's normal. Fuse Armor. This is your tank swap mechanic for Phase 2. It reduces armor, attack, and movement speed by 20% for 20 seconds. It stacks up to 5 times. If you get to 5 stacks, it will stun you. And finally, Flame Buffet. This increases fire damage taken by 1,500 for 1 minute, stacking up to 99 times. This is the Soft Enrage mechanic for Phase 2. Now, let's talk about the adds. You have a Dark Rune Watcher, Dark Rune Sentinel, and Dark Rune Guardian. Each of these adds have 1 or 2 abilities to manage, but usually are fairly straightforward and die pretty quickly. Dark Rune Watchers cast Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning. Interrupt their Chain Lightning casts. Dark Rune Sentinels will Whirlwind, hitting massive damage on plate wearers. These are the priority target. Dark Rune Guardians cast Storm Strike, increasing nature damage taken by 20% for 12 seconds. Now that you know all of the abilities, let's talk strategy for the fight. You'll want a balanced raid composition for this fight. We used 4 healers, 2 tanks, and a mix of ranged and melee DPS. In Phase 1, Razorscale will be in the air, and the Expedition Defenders will be rebuilding turrets to bring her down to the ground. Set 1 person to be your turret shooter. We used a hunter, but anyone with rocket boots or speed boost can do this job just fine. Set each tank to a side of the room. The adds will spawn out of mole machines just like the ones in Blackrock Mountain, and they will spawn randomly. The sentinel will spawn separately in the middle and can be picked up by either tank. Throughout the fight, Razorscale will be spitting out fire and leaving it on the ground, as well as damaging people with Fireball, so healing will need to be quick to top people off, as RNG can cause player deaths if they get targeted twice in a row without being healed up. Add kill priority is as follows: Dark Rune Sentinel, Dark Rune Watcher, then Dark Rune Guardian. All DPS must switch to the Sentinel as soon as it spawns. If you're having trouble killing it before a whirlwind grows out and having melee die, keep them on the Watchers and Guardians and have range nuke down the Sentinel. Once all 4 turrets have been rebuilt, you'll want to have your turret shooter ready to go and bring her down in between add waves, as no adds will spawn when she is on the ground. Razorscale hits the ground and is tethered. Pop cooldowns and stay behind her. Try to get her down to 50% before she goes back up into the air, but if you can't hit that, it's okay. We didn't either in Nax Gear. After about 30 seconds, she'll breathe on the turrets, destroying them, cast Wing Buffet, and fly back into the air, starting Phase 1 all over again. At 50%, Razorscale will be permanently grounded and Phase 2 will begin. For Phase 2, have a tank ready to taunt, as she will Wing Buffet and knock everyone back immediately. She does have a threat table in Phase 1, so the tank should be taunting and building threat before she's permanently grounded to ensure she runs in that direction at the start of the phase. For this phase, you want to kite her slowly around the big circle painted on the floor of the room, moving her out of the devouring flame patches and ensuring melee DPS aren't in it either. Treat this a lot like Grobulus and Nax, but include the tank swap. The tank should swap at 3 or 4 maximum stacks of the debuff. Both tanks should not be standing in front of the boss, but run in front to taunt so you're not both getting hit by the breath. Do not taunt from the back. Over the course of Phase 2, the raid damage will continue to ramp up until either she dies or you die. A good time to pop Lust is at the start of this phase once you're stable. Get her to 0 HP and you've got some more loot for your raid. Thanks for watching. Next is XT002's Deconstructor. See you next time!